Now, we have been pretty much kind of free of Tony Stark doing questionable things. But wouldn't it be Iron Man series if he didn't do questionable things? I mean, billionaires. That's what they do. Y'all do questionable things. My name is Doran. This is SEO Comics. We continue our coverage of Iron Man. Number 6. Our story starts off in the Russian province of United Latveria. Can't wait till I don't have to say that. The United Latveria, not Russian province. Anyway, there is a guy kneeling down, tied up with a bag over his head and cameras around him. So it looks like he about to be done in Taliban style. And then somebody gets out of a car. It's Robert Downey Jr. It walks into the shack. You have some armed guards and a guy sitting there, and it's cold. He's like, "Welcome. In this room, we will free Latveria." And Tony Stark's like, "I'll drink to that, Commander." But I don't drink. So this dude is like dogging out Doom, pretty much talking about his background and how he grew up and one hanging from a lamppost. And Tony's like, "Okay, yeah, I got it, but do we have to like talk about his background? Like, can we just focus on the matter?" So then Tony's like, "I like how you take security seriously. Like, there's no fires anywhere to register, any kind of smoke signals, and that thing ain't doing nothing. So there's no heat signature to be seen." That's Tony saying he's cold as hell. So then dude's like, "All right, well then, what do you got? You got some Iron Man suits for us?" And Tony is like, "If we're gonna work together, you need to understand this clearly. That will never happen." So then dude's like, "All right, well then, what do you got?" And he's like, "I got something great. I got this. A bottomless crypto wallet, courtesy of Stark Unlimited." Pretty much Stark Unlimited will do the data mining and they'll just keep putting money into his wallet. That's what I gather. Like, I don't know how crypto like works or anything like that. All I know is that famous people put their face on it and it's always a scam. Just always. Like Hot Tool Girl, like KSI, Mr. Beast, like doesn't matter. They're all scams. If you ever hear me pushing a coin, that is your signal to understand that I owe the wrong people a whole bunch of money and I might be in trouble. Might die. So the Latvian dude looks at it, crumbles it up, and says, "Come with me." He tells a story about a Turkish general and how he was great, but his downfall was he trusted the wrong person and that kind of got him messed up. Long story, want to read the book. He explains it in detail. But he's like, trust is the big thing. You have to trust your allies. He pulls the bag off the dude's head and he explains how, I guess, this was an ally, but he couldn't trust him. So now he wants to be able to trust Stark, and he wants Stark to shoot this dude in the head, like right now. Shoot him in the head, get rid of him. And he's like, before you start saying, "Oh, well, I'm an Avenger," he's like, "I'm pretty sure Avengers kill a lot of people. You know, you have killed somebody in your years of being an Avenger, so I want to hear you don't kill. So why don't you just pop the dude in the head, and then I feel like I can trust you." And then Stark's like, "You know what? Before we do all that, what is your plan? Like, how do you plan to do all this? Like, I need to know that before we move any forward with this." So then Latvian dude's like, "All right, let's go back inside." So long story short, this dude wants Stark to provide Stark missiles, and Stark's like, "Look, I am out of the weapons game. Like, I don't do that anymore." And then dude's like, "Well, we gotta have Stark missiles. They're the best missiles. Like, we can't have second class missiles." And Stark's like, "So you want me to provide Stark missiles so that you can attack Doom?" He's like, "No, I want you to sell them to Doom." It's a long story. It's a lot of rhetoric, but in a nutshell, Doom has pretty much replaced most of the army. Doomstat is ran by Doombots. The Air Force is all ran by Doombots. And a lot of the military people he got rid of. He's actually one of them. That's why he's here. But there's still some people that are in Doom's military because he can't get rid of everybody. And obviously they're on the side of the people that Doom got rid of. And he feels like that the people don't want to just follow dictator. They want to follow like Latveria itself. And the army is Latveria itself, which is kind of misguided. You know, like, doesn't sound like a plan to me. And he feels like if they march on Doomsday, then people will realize that Doom is just a dictator and they will align themselves with the Latvian army to overthrow Doom, which I don't see that happening, but okay. So Stark is listening to this plan, and I'm thinking to myself, he can't be even considering this. But doesn't get a chance to really consider it because all of a sudden there is an explosion. And the Winter Guard has come for Iron Man. So the Crimson Dynamo's like, comrades, his weakened armor is in that briefcase, and he goes to try to get it. But Iron Man, who's always a step ahead, has his briefcase come to him, and he goes to Dmitri because he knows his first name. Hey, give me your schedule after this because I'm thinking about starting a podcast calling it the Interactive Iron Man, where I go through all my process and upgrades. And who better to be my first guest than the person that's been on the receiving end of the most upgrades, which is you, Crimson Dynamo, as he takes out his big ass buster sword and blasts everybody. So then the Red Widow comes out of nowhere and goes, arrogant American. The Red Widow's never been bested with upgrades. So he blasts her and goes, oh, I promise, the podcast will get you up to speed. So Ursa Major, he's the bear, who's actually also a mutant too, by the way, is about to jump on Iron Man. Iron Man turns around and goes, is it weird that I'd rather cuddle you than fight you? And Ursa Major's like, oh, I'll make you pay for that one. So Iron Man grabs him and then starts taking him into the atmosphere. Now, he's not going to take him into space because that suit can't handle space, but he's going to take him just a little bit before it, where the air is thin, and he'll pass out. And then Iron Man shocks him and lets him go. So he lands hard. I'm like, oh, you know he dead. Like, Iron Man killed him. But I guess he has durability. But I looked it up, and he has the durability of an adult brown bear. An adult brown bear would die from that fall. So if he's living, that's Cap. So then the Red Widow takes the ex-Latvian soldier and tells him to sit down and goes, Crimson Dynamo, confirmed that the camera on the Ursa Major no longer streams or records. I'm like, he landed on top of it. It's just as dead as Ursa Major dead because he should be dead. So the Crimson Dynamo goes, da, Red Widow, it's dead. So she's like, what are you doing? Like, you're trying to strike up a deal with the Americans. Like, you know you can't trust them. You know they're going to double cross you. Like, why would you even do something stupid like this? And next thing you know, she is shot in the back by Natasha Romanoff, or the Black Widow. Now, this is how bad they want to get Black Widow. Everyone's like, forget the Latvian, forget Iron Man. Our main priority is now the Black Widow. So Natasha jumps on Iron Man's back to catch a ride. And the Iron Man's like, I need you to grab my sword because I can't. I'm in a awkward position. So she grabs it, and as little as hell, she's like, what the hell do you want me to do with this? And he's like, hold on, wait a minute. We gotta make a detour. And then he picks up the dude that was about to be shot all over, like, the internet. So then Natasha's like, who is he? And Iron Man's like, we'll talk about it on the Quinjet. Just flick your wrist. So she does, and then the sword activates, and she goes, oh, very impressive. And she shoots the hell out of Crimson Dynamo. And I know his name is Vanguard, but that's Red Guardian. I don't care what anybody says. So they get to the Quinjet, they fly away. The Red Widow is now talking to the Latvian again. And she's like, look, this is not the way. Making deals with the Americans, especially that American, is definitely not the way to go about this. So, yeah, don't do it. So then Natasha's talking to Iron Man, and she has that mean look on her face. And Iron Man just knows what she wants to talk about. So he starts to explain why he was there. And Natasha's like, look, I know what it means to destabilize a government. Done it a few times. And every single day of my life, I wish I hadn't. So Tony's like, look, I don't want to do this either, Natasha, but like, what other plan do we have? Like, we don't have a play here. And Natasha's like, I got a better plan. How about this? Why don't you put your faith in Earth's mightiest heroes? So he says, all right, you know what? You're right. Thank you, Nat. I needed that. So then he goes to his board that he's meeting with, and Tony being Tony just makes the wrong call and goes, I'm thinking about us being the sole weapons provider of Victor Von Doom.